Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Let's discuss about the interfaces in the SAP, in ABAP, object-oriented approaches. Right. So we are now including a new system. That means we are going to write a new thing. We will show how to use interfaces in your programming in ABAP. And interfaces, what actually they are. They are not the set of where the sort of portion of your programs in which you write the code. And it means you only declare the variables, right? And you declare it contains only the declaration, right? And the classes are initiated, and the classes are separately coded and they are used, right? So interfaces are not the Latin coding large set of code, only the declarations, right? And let's log on to SAP and we develop something, some system in which we use interfaces, and this will give you the clear idea of how useful or when you are using interfaces. So you cut down your codings, and it gives you an object oriented approaches in your code, right? So that means building blocks sort of things, like so you segmentate, you do your programs divided into different segments. Each segment is focused to a particular set of target which is to be achieved, and that's it. So that gives you the advantage of reusability, right? Okay, so let's go to the common. In the common, we have this is the example which we are going to set. Okay, so and we will write a different set of code in here. Let's use it something different, like the local interface in SAP, or local as interface in SAP, right? Let's do it again. So this is our tool. It is being not only developed, but it is being used. Uh, uh, mm, it is serving for us a tool for our presentation as well, and it is uh, making our life easy and simplified, right? All we need to do is click on the button, so it will take all the steps on our behalf to, okay? So the first thing we do here is that we write interface, right? Uh, Interface and end interface is the block, right, in which we will write. So we will write interface. We have given it a name, example type interface, okay? And we will finish it with the end interface. So this is where we are going to write the program. So the first thing we do is we type the declaration. We start with the declaration. We are going to use the two variables. These are going to be computed differently, right? And having a different operation, right? So at least we have three variables to, right? The first is variable one, and then we take the variable two, right? Yeah, variable two, and the third we take it's a variable sort of what we say string, which will tell whether what to do. Means if it is a static, means doing the multiplication. If it is being said that it's division, right? Then a slash, and so on, right? So what we do here, the third variable we would need, the fourth variable is the result, in which will have the result of the operation, multiplication, division, subtract, etc. Whatever. So there has to be some method, right? So let's write methods, and here we use a method like uh, say help. Oh, yeah, it's going to do some calculations for us. Okay, so this is our interface, right? So interface is once for all created, and they are not amended. They can be amended, but they are supposed to be having these changes in it. So whatever the classes we are going to create, doing them, they are going to use the same interface, right? And the same matter with a different functionality. They can use it. Okay, so let's start defining the classes. The classes, we will be defining two classes, one for multiplication, the other for division, right? And we can have a subtraction, addition, etc. We can do. Okay, so let's use the first class that is CL001, right? And we end them before we forget. So let's end the class. Stop. So in this is a good practice so that you also pretty center. So it makes everything consistent in the tab. Okay. Now the first thing you do in the class is that is the public section, right? We type public section, and in the public section here we will pass on the values of to these variables, right? And which and the operations which we want to do in the by using this string, right? So the interfaces. So we have to in the public that which interface we are supposed to use. There may be many interfaces you have created. Okay, so for the moment we have one interface that is named as example 8, and we pass on the data values, like so in the variable 1 we pass on 5, and in the variable 2 we pass the value 11. Okay, and we are going to multiply these two figures, right? And the result is nothing to do in this class. So the class job is finished as long as you have specified the interface and the values of the variables which you want to assign to that. Okay? So these have to be declared on the interface. These are declared, right? So we have used the class 1 definition. Then once the class is defined, so the class has to be implemented as well, right? So class implementation we will write here. Okay, soon after class we will write the class 1 class 1. This is the name which we are given. So we will use the same name which we use for the definition, right? So these are set. So and this will be terminated with the end class, right? And we do the full stop in it. Now whatever we write in here, that is the implementation procedure, right? And in the implementation, we mention which method we are calling uh, in this class, right? So since in this class we are using multiplication, right? So it will automatically do the calculation, right? So we say method is a method, and uh, the interface and the method cat. Okay, so this is the method which we are going to use to specify that what is that. So we are defining this method in here, that and this method will be uh, terminated with the end method, right? End method. You see the same system already or suggests you assess you that you got to press tab only, and it will complete for you the tag, right? So here you are going to specify what you want to do in this class during implementation. Of course, we want to do calculation. Before doing any calculation, we want to evaluate what is the value of the string variable which we define in the interface, that is the operation, right? So, right. So in the case, so case is an if command. So case is terminated with the end case as well, right? So let's say end case, right? Stop, right? And the pretty printer. It's a wonderful facility of Pretty Printer. So it takes care of your tabbing automatically. Okay. So the next is when you are evaluating that this variable is containing what? What string it is when it is expected to do the say when it is static means you want to do perform the multiplication of these numbers, right? So you say when it is static, okay, static, and then you are going to uh, write the expression, the equation, the the command that would calculate for you the result, right? So IV result one integer, it is going to be calculated with the variable 1 multiplied by why multiply because it is multiplication, right? So that's why you are this is a string, but this is an operator arithmetic operator, right? It is taking the values of the two and multiplying them. Okay. And what is the other things you would like to do? And you would like to do, for example, division, right? So we bring the division part here. So if it is division, then the same thing only the asterisk is going to be replaced with the slash. That is cause the division, right? Okay, so you have implemented the class, right? So uh, still implementation needs something to once it is done. So you would of course like before the end method, you would like to write the resulting message for you. So what we want is to be displayed, right? So we want this to be displayed that really that the variable one and then that is concatenated with the operation, that is the multiplication sign, right? And variable two, right? And then it is concatenated with the equal to sign, and then the last variable, that is the result, right? So it will write you a plus b equal to c, right? It is going to write down, display the result. So this is the implementation part completed, that you want class one to be implemented with all these things, right? Okay, so now the final part is that the end of is the start of selection. The start of selection is where we we do the displaying of the actual result, right? And calling the method and writing it to the means and showing the result in on the screen, right? So let's write start of selection. Until now here it is you have set up one class, yeah, and its implementation using a single interface, right? So so that you need an object, right, to get to output the result, right? So so you have to declare an object with a reference to class one, and that object has to be created, right? So let's right, create object, right? That is local object. Say you can use any name, for example, say one, right? That's one first one. Okay, that, and then you will write the multiplication header. That it's since you are referring to the class one, that is meant for the multiplication process. Okay, so you are giving a title to it, so it will appear, and then you will call the method of that uh, object, you know, uh, and in which you will specify the object. You have referred it to class one, right? And using this interface with this method of the calculation, that will determine that what to do, right? It will not watch this one that it has written multiple. This is whatever you write here that would appear in the screen. But what it is going to do is it will execute the method of the class one, right? Because this object has been referred to the class one, right? Okay. So this is how we have implemented it. Now let's save it before we use it, okay? And then we check it if everything is fine. Yes, there's no syntax errors. Everything is fine. And now we are going to execute it. Okay. Okay, we have to activate it first. Before you execute, make sure that you have activated it. So the multiplication and then 5, then the static 11 is equal to 55. That's right. Okay. So this is what your object is. Okay. So this is one class. So in the interface learning what we have, we can use the same interface for the different classes with different functionalities, and these are being catered by the common interface. So let's use the same thing for multiplication. What changes we are going to do? No change would require in here. Okay? Interface remain the same. All we need to do is copy these two things, right, and implement. Okay, we will copy this entire class, right, until the end class, right? Let's Control C in here, and we will do. So for our remembering, we are just typing. Okay? So we created the class one, right? Okay, let's check if the class one is fine. It's activated and it's running. It is showing you the. Let's get back to our job of creating division. Let's create the division quickly before we lose the connection, right? So you have to make sure you have to use from the definition, right? You have to define and then implement, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so this is the definition, and now I'm going to paste it. Okay, and we define it with a different name, that is 2, and here we have say 25, and this is 5, and the operation is division, right? Division, and we save it before we lose. Okay, the next is we implement it, 2, right? So there's no change required in here because the division is already captured in here. Okay, and what else? In here, we are going to declare object for the division part, right? So use this is this is the division, and doing the class using the class for division, right? And uh, we will create it again. This is, yeah, we have created again. Created the thing which the object which we declared in here and had a reference with the class 2 which we have copied from class 1, right? And it is really implemented as well, make sure. Okay, and then you create that object, and that object is going to be used here so that you have a new line. Huh? So, right, so this is where you are going to write. So in the right we will use a slash to enter a new line, right? So we save it, and here we will use 2 for the object number 2, right? That's it. And this is not multiplication, this is a division expression. Arithmetical division, this is arithmetical multiplication of the two numbers and using this class, right? So the same interface, it is using the same interface with a different methodology, functionalities, and uh, no change in the interface, only new class with the different values of the variables and function. We have done it. So let's save it and check if we have made any mistake. No errors found. Good. Let's activate it and let's execute. So you see, the same interface is being used with two different classes. One is doing multiplication and generating you the result, and the other is doing the division and generating you the result, showing you the result. So this is very basic illustration of use of interfaces. Otherwise, in the practical life, in real life scenario, you can use it further for text computation. But there are certain ceilings of taxes. For a certain amount, you have a different uh, method of calculation for a certain if the amount increases and you get to a different slab of tax in tax percentage has to be applied. So you have to, so you can use it in that. Okay. So also in the implementation, you can keep on adding further things like so that the uh, same class can be used with different methods, right? And it will automatically decide which method of calculation is supposed to be taken, watching this operation characteristics. Okay, so when you define the class, you provide the values and the operation, right? And depending upon this operation, the class is implemented with the method, right? With the method deciding which expression will be valid for this calculation, right? If it is static, so when static, this is going to happen. When it is plus, it will add up to the both things, and when it is minus, so the number two will be subtracted from number one and give you the result, right? The result, there will be no change in the result expression. This will remain the same, and in the here, all you need to do is just define what you will. So this is an example that how effectively you can use the interfaces and classes and the methods and implementation. Thank you very much for watching.